Welcome to my final Star Sports kennel visit for 2025. Today I'm back at Patrick Janssens' kennel finding out about his Derby team because it's very versatile, it's very good, and I think it's going a little bit under the radar. So I've come to find out all about it. I'm very pleased to now be joined by Patrick Janssens. Patrick, of course, I came to the kennels last year to do a kennel visit and we discussed Thorn Falcon and how great it was to win it. But firstly, are you excited for this year's Derby?
Yeah, I am. I think we got some nice dogs, and I think it's going to be a very good Derby, very competitive.
We'll get straight into the team because there's a good few to get to. We're going to go in no particular order because it's a very, very strong team this year, I feel. But we'll start with Barntic Bear, who I believe is the current track record holder, a 28.44 around Toaster. So he's very fast, but I think you might say a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, very, very. I think he's sort of one of the fastest dogs in training, I think. But, when you put 5 other dogs with him, he's very frustrating. He's not the greatest breaker. He tries to go to the rails and, do you know what I mean? And then off the second bend, he has devastating pace. But listen, the thing with him is he'd be hard to keep out the first 3 if they leave him alone, sort of thing, around the first 2 bends. And he's in good form. I thought he ran well yesterday. He only finished 3rd, but it was a good race and not a great draw. But no, he done well.
Well, he's only finished outside the first 3 5 times in his life, and hasn't finished outside the first 3 since August last year. So it does bode well for him. Hopefully, keep qualifying.
Yeah, there's the name of the game with him, and you know what I mean. The boys were on at 40-1, so you know what I mean. You get 10-1 if you make the final. That's really his game.
And he ran in the Derby last year, won his first round heat, but then went out in the second round. Do you think there's any difference from him last year to this year? Do you think he's maybe learned to sort of come from behind a little bit more?
I think he's a bit more mature, yeah. I think it's very hard to win with a young dog at Toaster because it's so tough. But I think he's, like you said, he very rarely finishes out the first 3. And when you look at his form is very good. Do you know what I mean? Like in the Blue Ribbon, he got knocked out in the semis. But when you look at the winner, it's like Sentinel, and they were all in front of him. Do you know what I mean? So I think his form is very good, and he loves Toaster. Toaster is definitely his best track. You know what I mean? So yeah, and he still holds the clock, and I'm sure he can go quicker than that. You know what I mean? But the problem with him is with 5 other dogs. That's his problem.
Moving on to another dog that absolutely loves Toaster is Slick Sentinel. Won the Juvenile Classic round there last year, but he's just a great competition dog all round, isn't he? Won 2nd in the Eclipse and the Blue Ribbon, so loves Toaster, great competition dog.
Yeah, and he won the Juvenile. You know what I mean? I love the dog. I think he was last year in the Derby, but really that was give him a bit of experience and everything. But when you look at him, he's doing 28.70s as a puppy, and you can see he won yesterday, but you can see how short he is at work, and do you know what I mean? He should come forward with another trial, and he's now sort of 2 years old, 2.5, and he's 37 kilos. So yeah, really high hopes for him. Really high hopes.
And would you agree he's got like nice all-round pace? He has early, flies down the back straight, and he does see out the 500 metres well enough. Obviously tiring a little bit yesterday,
yeah.
But that was his first race since January.
Yeah, he did, and in the semi-finals of the Blue Ribbon as well, he Barntic Bear turned behind, but he held Barntic Bear off to the winning line. He's very strong himself, because I always thought, I said to Keith before, he could be sort of a 5.75 dog Rumford, but I think he has enough pace to do very well in the Derby.
And yesterday was his first race since 2nd in the Blue Ribbon to Table Toppers. Were you just giving him a rest, or did he have any issues?
That was always, never no issues. I always said to Keith, because so he was on the go when he come over. He was always on the go, and he won the Juvenile. Then he went to the Doncaster Derby, and then he was in the final there. Then he went to the Eclipse, was 2nd there. Then he went sort of to the Blue Ribbon. So he was sort of from one competition to another. And I said to him, if we leave him alone now and give him a proper rest, and then all he had was 2 sprints and 2 500s, and this was his race, and he'll have another trial before it starts, and then that should be him spot on.
And of course, if he does keep qualifying, he will be getting that little bit fitter. So that was always the plan.
That's it. He done 28.70s on several occasions. You know what I mean? And I think he can do better than that, if I'm honest. You know what I mean? But the good thing with him is he's got good early, traps well. He runs a bend well. He's got good track craft as well. You know what I mean? But listen, you just need that bit of luck, don't you? And I don't think he's really a wide, you know what I mean? But he traps better from 6. He traps much better, so fingers crossed.
The next dog in the team is Romeo Empire. Now, he's a strong running dog. I think I heard you say future 6-ven dog, but he is also going to take his chance in the Derby.
Yeah, we were thinking of stepping him up really before this, you know what I mean? But then we thought we'd give the Derby a go first, and because I was very tempted with Monmouth as well, the golden jacket sort of thing. But listen, he's got enough pace for 4 bends, you know what I mean? But he's another dog, isn't he? If he keeps qualifying, and like yesterday, I thought he ran very well, trapped well, he got done for a bit of pace to the bend by holder's position and down the back straight. He was absolutely flying and coming home, and he went outside the dog, inside the dog. His track craft is getting better. So, yeah, and I'm sure he's a 28.50 dog on the bunny, do you know what I mean? But the thing, his future is definitely be 6 bends.
And he ran really, really well yesterday. I personally wasn't sure that he was going to get there coming around the 3rd bend, but he did, and fairly comfortably in the end. He's another one. He's not been out the top 3 much in his life, so one that's just going to most likely keep qualifying.
Yeah, he was. He done. You know, at Nottingham he done very well. He done a 29.10 round there. He's a very pacey dog. He done for when he was a Graham Hollands. He done 27.95 at Shelbourne. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's a very, very versatile and a very good dog.
The next dog in the team is Romeo Still, a little bit different from the ones we've mentioned so far. He's more early pace, but he has won loads of races for you.
Yeah, he's a fantastic dog, you know. I mean, he's done the track record around Nottingham for the sprint as well, and he's not really a sprinter, you know, but he's got devastating middle pace. 500 metres really pushing it with him, do you know what I mean? But listen, there's only one Derby, and who knows, you know what I mean, if he can go every round from the front. I see him more as a Yarmouth Derby type dog, that sort of dog, you know what I mean? But he's very genuine. He is one of the fastest times around Sheffield this year, around Nottingham. Yeah, he done really well, you know. He had last year when he was in the British Bred Derby, he had a touch of acidosis and had to withdraw him from the semi-finals, and that sort of, we left him off longer than we should have done, but there was nothing for him at the time, and then it took longer for him to bring him back because he went to Monmouth and he was flying to the 3rd bend and it was totally tiring up and everything, but he's really back to himself now.
And he has, of course, won 500 metres before at Toaster as well as other tracks, so he can do it, and it's nice to have one like him in the team where he does really go to that 3rd bend well.
Yeah, he do 28.80 easy. But the thing was, like yesterday, he's not been there for a while. He fell out. He showed all sorts of pace to the 3rd bend, and then when Racket or Brew turned behind him, he was always going to get beat, you know what I mean? So because he's very strong, he's the total opposite. But no, he's a very good, genuine dog.
And he's another one as well, like Barntic Bear. Won a heat last year, went out in the 2nd round. But again, with him, would you say he's sort of more mature this year and ready for another crack?
Yeah, he's much more mature now, and he's much more sort of calmed down as well. He used to be quite hyper and sort of, you know, he's very chilled out now. Yeah, he's a real nice dog. He's a real nice dog.
Another nice staying dog in the team is Romeo Tomcat. Caught a lot of people's attention when he won his maiden at Central Park by about 18 lengths. Did win a few around Monmouth as well, and also he was 2nd in the gym crack. Can you tell us a bit about him?
Yeah, I really like that dog. I really do. I think, you see, with Tomcat, he won that race at Central Park, and you get a lot of hype around it. And I don't want to disrespect no one's dogs, but you run against very average dogs. So when you go up in class and he went to Monmouth, he won them trial stakes and done very well. And you know what I mean? Is he rails? Is he middle? I don't think he knows himself. Yeah. So you see the middle, he don't get to run, he hits the rails, everything goes wrong, gets knocked out in the 1st round. And really, we taking him to tracks what don't really suit him. He's not a Monmouth dog. He's not a Sheffield dog. He's a Toaster, Brighton, Sittingbourne dog. That's what he is, you know. And I think he, as a puppy, he was only, I think, 16 or 17 months. He had 29.20s round on his card at Toaster. So he's much better now than he was then. And but again, you know what I mean, he's not even 2 yet. And I always have the feeling with young dogs at Toaster, in the Derby the first year, you saw it with Romeo Magico, you see it with loads of dogs. They sort of get knocked out in the 1st and 2nd round, and when they come back a year later, they're much better dogs. So it might be a bit too early for him, but he's definitely fast enough.
And you think Toaster is going to suit his running style?
Oh, that's his track. That's his track, definitely, 100%.
Does he have sort of more early pace than he's perhaps shown at the minute? Because of course at Monmore he wasn't really getting a chance to show much to the bend, or is all his pace sort of coming home?
Yeah, it is, you know, but what happens at Monmore is, you know yourself, you're running sometimes against sprinters who don't even stay, so they go in the front of you, and then he sort of have to navigate his way around. And even in the gym crack final, when he comes off the second bend, two tries to run middle, he tries to come in, they hit each other again, do you know what I mean? And he's a bit all over the place, isn't he? But he's very, very pacey, very pacey.
The next dog is a dog that I really like, and that is Droopy's Trade. He was third in the gym crack, very unlucky in the final, I think it's fair to say, but looks a very, very promising dog for the future.
Yeah, he's the repeat mating of Slick Sentinel. He's a very nice dog. Again, you know what I mean, he's not even 2 till July, so you know, you're taking your chance. He had one trial run toasted on a fantastic sprint, 15:67, so he's never had a 500 yet at toasted. He will have one this week, so, but he's very fast. He's definitely fast enough, you know what I mean? But again, you know, does it come too early? But if you don't try it, you don't know, you know what I mean? So, but the times he done around Sheffield were very good. If you look at WikiNet, what he did round there, and you look at him, there was only sort of a length or 2 lengths between them. So, yeah, and he's in good order. He come out the Sheffield race very well. So, yeah, we give him a trial and see how it goes.
Like you touched on, he did 15:67 in his only look at Toaster, and
Yeah.
that was very early when he came to you as well. So, based off that, you'd assume that he likes the track.
Yeah, he does. He run the track well, and he run off the second bend as well. He would have gone quicker, you know. And because I tried him against Not So Slow to see if he had enough early and everything, and he definitely has enough early. So, but yeah, he's a real nice, very pacey dog.
Next dog in the team is Droopy's Plunge. He is a dog with so much ability. He's very, very fast. Would you agree he's a little bit all or nothing?
Yeah, that's him, you know. But the only thing I liked in the juvenile when your dog won the proper Harris dog, I thought he really ran well to come second. You know, normally when he sort of turns third or fourth, you think, you know what I mean? But he really put his head down and he really chased and he ran on well to come second. And you know, he's a really, really fast dog. But again, you know, he sort of, when he come over, he's a very nervous dog. You can't even go on parade at Toaster, because even on the juvenile night, when he saw the crowd, he sort of pulled straight to the traps, you know. And to be fair, Cheryl and Rhea, they absolutely adore him, and they done all the work with him, you know what I mean? Because as a man, you sometimes think, oh, I can't be bothered with it, you know, because they drive you up the wall. So, but they did, and I think that benefit him a lot. And he's very fast. Honestly, he's very, very fast. He's as good as a Baltic Bear or anything in who's in the competition, you know. But he's draw dependent, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's desperate for rails, but he traps better from the middle. It's a very funny thing. He got more beat from trap 1 than from the middle. And when you look at his maiden form and the juvenile form, there's the same form. So it's a very good form.
Definitely. And in that juvenile, you're sort of watching them come home and you're thinking, oh, he's run really, really well there, picked up Bocco's Diamond. Like you say, he sort of had to battle in that race. I think it was the Christmas Bonanza night as well.
Yeah.
He didn't sort of trap out and lead all the way. He had to sort of battle for it a little bit. So do you think as he is getting a bit older, he is learning to do that a bit better?
I think so, you know, I really do. And I really have high hopes for that dog as well, you know. And I think he could be one sort of thing who could be a good 6:30 dog as well, you know, because he stays as well. But I think he's fast enough to win the Derby, I really do, because sometimes with the Derbies it's all about getting there, isn't it? It's getting to them last 6, and then all the form goes out the window anyway, so because it's on the night.
Definitely. Do you think he could do it sort of consistently enough for 6 weeks?
I think so. I think he's more mature now than he was. Listen, he has a 29-10 at Nottingham as well. Then he got knocked out in the semi-finals, but he was that was again with proper Harris, and they sort of come together at the first bend. They knocked each other out, really. Do you know what I mean? But I think when you look at it, when he got knocked out, it's not that he ran bad. It's just how things happened for him. Do you know what I mean? Because he's a good trapper, but then halfway on the run-up, he hits a flat spot. Yeah, and while other dogs pace up, and then they get on his inside, and that's when he sort of got shoveled back or something like that. But once he comes off the second bend, he's got to change the gear.
The next dog is Romeo Command, and you sort of run out of things to say about him. He's been a great servant for you. He was runner-up in the Derby in 2023, so you think he deserves probably one last crack at it?
Yeah, the thing with Silver, we call him, you know, he's still running well, you know what I mean? Like when you saw it yesterday, I know he got beat and he finished third, but down the back straight he showed real good pace, I thought, and you know, if he goes round that bend and if things happen for him, you know, listen, I still think he can do 28.60 now. Can he win the Derby? I don't think so. But listen, he is one of them. He knows when he gets in trouble, he always gets out of trouble. Do you know what I mean? He's not a dog. He's a very clever dog. He's got very good track craft and everything, and never get another one like him. I had faster dogs, but I never had a better dog than him.
And he's got a great story as well, because he injured his hock and you managed to bring him back. Of course, he was second in the Derby, won so many competitions. So you'd just be proud to take him back to Toaster, to a track he loves.
You do, and we hopefully, you know what I mean, can run on final night in one of the races there, and that be him retired, you know what I mean? So, but he loves Toaster, and if the Derby was anywhere else, I probably wouldn't bother about it, because it's at Toaster. He loves it, you know what I mean? He runs Toaster better than any other track. I know he will run Nottingham things, but he runs Toaster much better. He absolutely loves the place. So yeah, we give one more go.
Finally, the last bitch in the team, the only bitch, but the last dog is Fabulous Aria. She loves Toaster as well. I think it's fair to say she has really, really good form around there over the sprint distance and the 500. Won a trial stake yesterday for you in 28.89, so she's quick as well.
Yeah, she is. I had her in the beginning, and then two circumstances, you know what I mean, because I was pushed for room and everything. She went back to Lawrence for a bit of grading. Lawrence stuff, and then he done really well with her. Then she come and sees, and he brought her back. And then Dave asked me to take her back because she was sort of 500 was a bit too far for her at the time. And then I took her to Perry Bar, and she ran in a bitches race there on final night, and she didn't win on nothing. But then I took her for the trials in 27.92, and she absolutely took off. You know what I mean? And then she ran there again and finished third behind Kevin Hutton's dog, Southfield Poppy, but she ran Bacon Roll, but she to the drop she was strong, and so we brought back to Toaster yesterday, and I thought she had a great chance. And once she led, you know what I mean, and when DJ, your dog, sort of turned second, I thought, now we see if she stays, and she stayed well. The time was there, so yeah, she's a real good bitch, and hopefully, you know, she can go well. And can she win a Derby? Listen, 28.89 from the front probably can win it, you know what I mean? So who knows? But no, she's good. She's genuine, and hopefully, if she don't come and see it, she could be a good Oaks bitch later in the year.
Definitely, she's got really, really nice all-round pace. She's clearly very fast. Would you sort of think about her for the best bitch market, maybe something like that?
Yeah, she could well do, because she. The thing with her as well is every time I went to Perry Bar, every time she got trap four. She's desperate for rails, you know what I mean? So, and she could do well, you know what I mean? I don't think there's many bitches who can do 28.89. There's only a handful in them, I think, you know what I mean? So, and she's definitely one of them.
Well, that was a run through of the team that Patrick is entering for the Derby. I have to ask you maybe a little bit of a tough question, but who is your best chance?
Oh, best chance, I don't know. Listen, if I didn't like him, they wouldn't be in it. That's as simple as that. So, if it's very difficult, isn't it? I love Slick Sentinel. I really like Droopy's Plunge. How can you not pick a Romeo Command? How can you not pick, you know, Barntic Bear? You can't. Do you know what I mean? They're all different in there. See, so a lot of these dogs I have, they're probably short of early, yeah. But I think at Toaster is, I've never seen a dog there going 6 rounds unbeaten, because there is going to be one night that you're not going to hit it, and if you don't hit it, it's very hard to qualify. And I think these dogs, they do it from the front and behind. You know what I mean? It's like Sentinel can do it from behind as well. He done that before. So yeah, the only one who can't do it from behind is probably Romeo Steele. You know, but he's very fast from the front. So that's the total opposite. But if I had to pick one, I don't know. I just hope for the best.
Well, it's nice when you can't pick one, I
Yeah.
guess, because they're all so good and you've got such a versatile team. You've got a nice bitch, you've got great faithful
Yeah.
in Romeo Command, young dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs were in it last year and matured, so it's probably a nice situation to
Yeah.
be in that you can't sort of narrow it down to one.
Yes, it's like Romeo Tomcat, you know what I mean? It's sometimes he's a very fast dog, and I remember when I worked for Mark, your dad, and we had January Tiger. He got knocked out in the first round of the Puppy Derby at Monmouth. We were disappointed. Then he got to the semi-finals, and the only reason he got knocked out is because he was put on the floor, and then he won the consolation. He's that sort of type of, very similar to that sort of type of dog, you know. But the thing is, you can have all these. The thing with them dogs is they every round they have to perform, and they don't have only the next round they only have to perform, but they have to improve as well. So, and hopefully with Slick Sentinel, he's very lightly raced, so he should get better with each run. So, and hopefully it goes to plan. But yeah, they're all in good order, and they all come out of the race as well. And Ron Mills went over them this morning, and they're all good. So, fingers crossed.
Ready to go. How would you rate your team this year compared to sort of the last few years, maybe since you won it with Thorn Falcon?
I think this one is very good. I think the year I had Lataro and Dealish Frankie, was a bit unlucky in the semi-finals. Lataro kept drawing trap 6 because he was a middle runner. That got him knocked out. But really, I think the slowest is 28. It's probably 28.80. That's the slowest, I think, you know. And I think there's a 28.40 dog, 28.50s, several in there. So, but it's all getting that run, isn't it? You know what I mean? You can be as quick as you want. Barntic Bear is the quickest, but you put 5 other dogs with him and you try to pull your hair out. So that's very frustrating. But if you get a dog like him to the final and he turns second, they're all in trouble. Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of dog he is.
Well, thank you very much for having me. We'll go meet the team now and get some pictures of them.
That's it.